Okay, and hello and welcome to Project Refit. We are the group you didn't know you needed until you found us. Project Refit was started to be a safe place for veterans and attempt to lower the veteran suicide rate of 22 per day. It was quickly opened up to first responders who were more likely to die by suicide than in the line of duty. Over 6% of first responders have attempted suicide at some point in their career. This is a place where those who are hurting can come and tell their story to others that truly understand. It sometimes gets very raw, but it is important that we allow our military and first responders to talk without judgment or restriction. We only have a few rules: no isms, no racism, sexism, or discrimination. If we want others to respect us, we have to respect others and ourselves. We try to steer clear of politics and religion as they are sometimes triggering. No interruptions when someone is telling their story. Don't interrupt. It may be the first time that they have been able to talk about this out loud. No diagnosing. Usually none of us are trained. Even if you are, this is not the time or place to diagnose others. Don't tell others what they must do. You can tell them what you did, how it worked, but don't tell them what they have to do. We do encourage therapy. Just opening up and talking in the group is therapeutic. And several people who were here on Buddy Check-In have gone on to professional therapy with great results when they were ready. And finally, a warning: we will mock you. It just means that you've been accepted as one of us. And there he is.
Hello.
So how you doing tonight, Mike?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good, good. It's Monday.
Yeah, that's today.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. You rent Airbnb in the Poconos?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How much does it rent for?
So like a Friday and Saturday right now, it's 500 a night for Friday, Saturday, and then I think I said like the weeknights, every other night's like 325 or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's pretty low too. Like I feel like I'm not giving it away, but like it's a good deal because you're getting it's a 5-bedroom house. There's like 9 beds. You know what I mean? It sleeps 12 people, so it sleeps a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to talk her into going someplace just the two of us.
Oh yeah? Where are you what are you thinking?
Listen, at this point, if there was a place across the street, I would go for it if I could talk her into doing it.
Yeah, I was thinking about trying to go somewhere foreign, but that's not gonna happen. Nope, not this year.
She is very leery for some reason about letting me go to the convention at the Oaks. And I told her she most absolutely she can go with me. And yeah, because I mean she's seeing my grandson. And she's like, I really don't want to go. I said, well, if you decide you want to go, you are of course welcome, and I would love to have you be there with me. I said, but if you're not going to go, I don't want you to worry. So we already know it takes 2 EMTs to get me off the ground if I collapse. And there's going to be at least 2 there that I know because they're cosplayers part of the event. And I don't think that filled her with confidence, but we'll see. And now she's thinking about going to Texas in September. And she said, because by then, quote unquote, it might be safe to leave me alone. Well, honestly, I don't think it's ever safe to leave me alone, but I said, I'm sure I know some people in Texas that, whatever base you want to. And she looked at me and she goes, who said you were invited? Like, really? We're going to pull that one? I said, well, I'll tell you what then. If you go to Texas, I'll get hold of Cedric and maybe that'll be when I go to Alaska. So, and I hear you're better off like playing in his backyard. Don't even go to Denali. He has more wild animals running around his place than you'll see in Denali. You're muted.
But yep, I'm excited to go. I think September is probably when I expect to go.
Yeah, I don't know what base your cousin's at.
In Texas.
Yeah, I think it's an Air Force base, but it's not Lackland. It's some training facility.
Oh, yeah, I can't think of anything outside of Lackland.
But apparently, I'm not invited to that trip.
Yeah. What are you doing for the 4th of July? Any plans for this weekend?
I have to prep for upper and lower GI.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go get COVID tested today. And upper and lower GI. I think they're going in one end, just going all the way through this time. I don't know.
You're gonna get pig roasted, huh?
Well, they said it's better for me to do it that way, so I spend less time under anesthesia.
Like extra.
Doing both at once. But I was supposed to be done at the surgical center last week, and they called me up and canceled it. Thankfully, before I got too far into the prep, because I have like a 3-day prep.
What do you have to like?
Well, 2-day prep.
Drink.
Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday is, clear liquids, clear juices.
No
so I'm
cocaine.
going to be on chicken broth and saltines for the next couple of days. And then Wednesday, you do the, oh dear God, why did I let him talk me into getting this thing done? With the Miralax and all those fun things.
Yeah, man.
And then Wednesday night, we drop my car off at the dealer, and so they can change the oil. Thursday, I get the procedure done. Friday, her car goes to the dealer, and I got to hang my photography show in the library. I figure by Saturday I'll be pretty ready to just lay down for a day.
All right, it's not too bad.
No, it's they got me a little shit. What's the word I want? I have a little trepidation about the procedure now that I didn't have before, because they canceled it and moved me to outpatient at the hospital. And when I asked why, the nurse said, well, the doctor said you're an anomaly. What the hell does that even mean? I'm an anomaly. Yeah, it's like, do I have 6 toes or, she says, well, that's what she said. With your history, she wants you in the hospital. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Then they called me up and asked about my BiPAP machine. And I said, yeah, I have one. Is it a small one? Yeah. Can you bring it with you? I'm like, I can. Am I like spending the night? What's going on? Well, no, if there's any problem with the anesthesia, we could put you on that to help clear it up. I'm like, are you planning on something? And they said, no, but just in case. They're having too many just in cases with me,
Yeah. Firelight sucks ass.
But I think it'll be okay. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Don't tell me because you probably know.
Yeah, don't say that. Let's not think about it.
Hey, listen, I plan on being asleep through the whole thing. So
This Firelight is garbage.
Alex is on.
Hey, Alex.
The refit queen.
I can't see. This flashlight isn't working.
How much time as you spend out there, you should be able to see in the dark.
I actually am pretty good. I think I have like good night vision, but like if there's any light, it gets jacked up and like it only works when it's like really dark.
So I took Donna out to dinner Saturday night, and we went in and turned our names in to get a table. And the girl looks at me and she goes, "Would you like some crowns?" And I said, "We don't have any kids with us." She says, "Well, I saw the dog tags and figured you might be a Marine."
Oh yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, I told her, I was talking to her on Friday night, and I said, "You want to do something Saturday?" And she's like, "I'm staying home. It's too hot. I don't want to do anything." I said, "Well, would you mind if I went to a photography workshop and got to shoot a model?" And I told her how much it was, and she's like, "Fine, you have the money, go." So I called the guy up. He's an Air Force vet. Never been to a studio before. I always wanted to go down and just visit it, actually. And he said, "Yeah, we have a spot. Somebody backed out." And so I go down. I get there. 3rd floor walk up in a commercial building. So it's like a flight and a half of regular steps.
Mm-hmm.
With my 25-pound camera bag. And I was like, oh my God. It's a good thing I got here early because it's going to be a while now. So I got up, and model was a very lovely young lady. And the way it works is you draw numbers to see who goes first, who goes second. And I was 3rd. And so she does the first set, and I get my 10 minutes photographing her. And I forget what outfit she had on. Then she gets changed, and we did the second set, and that was more pinup type pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to the 3rd set, and she comes out in lingerie, and I'm like, my wife is not going to be happy. And so I said, I'll go last because it's the last set. And everybody got done. I said, "Do you have a nice robe with you?" And she looked at me. I said, "You are absolutely lovely, but my wife is not going to be happy." And that's my priority. And she said, you're really sweet. And I have a robe. So she went back and put the robe on and she climbed back on the bed they have on the set. And I said, no, I want to do you by the window. And she looked and I said, I just made it like, what can I say? And she said, I like window light pictures. So we went over and I did my last set by the window. And they came out pretty good. And I got home and my wife goes, well, did you have fun? I said, yeah. And she looks at me. She said, did you do any nudes? I said, absolutely not. And she said, you probably should have. It got stuff out of your system and you beat me alone for a while. Whatever, dear. But I did not do any nudes. But I got some really nice shots. I got like 239 pictures in basically 30 minutes. And now I'm like trying to go through them and decide what I want to keep, what I want to get rid of, what I want to work on. Give me something to do for a few days.
Yeah, I gotta mess around with my photos too. Got one of those drives. I'm gonna put them all on a freaking drive and then I'm gonna delete them off the internet.
Really?
Every picture. Yeah. I'm going off
I don't-
grid. I don't want anybody
trying-
fucking knowing what I got, what I look
I'm
like.
trying to get mine. I'm trying to get all mine online because I
Yes,
lost the hard
yeah.
drive. And I probably had about a gigabyte of photographs on it when it died. And it was only dumb luck I got it to spin up again and transferred everything to another drive.
Mhm.
I said, yeah, I gotta get stuff on online storage. So,
Yep.
but
Yeah, I'm
it's
just
a
gonna get
secure
all my
site.
shit on drive and then I'm gonna delete it all off and like if I need the picture, then I'll get it. But there's really no reason. I
Yeah,
know like
do
people
multiple.
share it, it's a pain in the butt not to be able to share photos and shit, but like I don't really give a shit, honestly.
Do use multiple drives. Like have 2 or 3 copies of it because drives crash and everything on the drive is gone sometimes.
Yeah, I have I also have them on Blu-ray discs, backed up on Blu-ray discs, and as long as I can find a Blu-ray disc player, I'll be able to retrieve them off that too. But hard drive is what I needed. Just like a one hard drive. It's a big ass hard drive, but it'll
You can get
probably
an
be more.
8 gig for 200-300 now.
Yeah, I forget how much it is, but it's pretty sizable. It's enough to hold all my photos, videos, just everything that I've sort of saved over the last 10 years. And then some, even like other photos that I don't have saved online, but I have them like offline, like they're like real photos.
You can always scan them.
Yeah, I got a bunch of my dad's photos. My old man's got a bunch of friggin', when he passed away, like I got a lot of his shit. And like this one box was like just a ton of pictures he had taken when he was in the Marines and shit. So they're like F4 Phantoms and friggin' those LAVs landing on the beach, just like all kinds of different pictures. And like they're the big ones, you know, like the big color ones.
Yeah.
Like a bigger size. They're on like nice paper, nice photo paper or whatever. The quality. They got some dudes like, it's pretty cool. He's got one like dudes friggin' air assaulting in on top of a fucking building and shit.
That was so much what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I'll have to show you. He's got like a lot of, because that's what he did. You know, he was photo reconnaissance when he was in the Marines to start. That was his first job, photo reconnaissance. And then he always like did it. Oh man.
Well, Alex isn't coming in. She's got to on her way into work.
We get to fly in an F4 Phantom one time and take
Oh no,
pictures.
that wasn't Alex. That was Barbara. I reached out to him today. See how he was doing.
Is anybody else in here?
Clark just got here.
Right on.
Oh, he's working again.
Yeah. He's always at the bar. He's an alcoholic.
Mm. Well, I told my wife, I said we should go out to dinner tonight, and I said because this is like my last meal for a while, and so we went through the where do you want to go bit, and I said, well, I kind of want Chinese, but last time I wasn't feeling good and had Chinese. And she goes, yeah, we're not having any Chinese before you go to the hospital anymore. And so we wound up at Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, you got a Texas Roadhouse over there?
Yeah, we actually have
they got that bread and the butter, sweet butter.
Oh yeah. Yep. And it is quite good.
Yep. Did you get a steak?
Oh yeah. I've been eating too much steak lately, but I figure I'm going to be having chicken broth for the next 3 days, 2.5 days. So
yeah, I got a bunch of chicken I'm going to cook up. I'm going to do it Hawaiian style, I think. And then I also got some beef that I might, you know what? I might do the stew again. I think I might try using my Afghan pressure cooker again. I made a stew in it a couple weekends ago. It came out great. I just didn't season it good enough. So I'm going to make another one.
But yeah, so we went there, and she was driving, and I said, "You care if I have a beer then?" And she goes, "I don't care." She says, "What about all this meds you're on?" I said, I'm hardly taking anything right now because of the procedure coming up. She took me off everything but about 3 things. I said, and honestly, I forgot to take them today, so I haven't had anything. And she gave me a look, but had a nice big Yingling, and it was really good.
Yep, that's awesome.
Can't remember the last time I had a beer.
Dinner.
Honestly, if they made a decent near beer, I would be happy with that. I just like the flavor.
Yeah, I prefer the alcoholic beer. Stars are out tonight.
So hot here.
You see in like Portland and Seattle, it's like freaking record-breaking heat waves over there. Highest they've ever measured. 110 degrees, 112 degrees.
Yeah, it's because we keep using them plastic straws.
Now they switched to paper straws. Now they use paper,
Yeah,
which I heard
too late.
are even worse for the environment. Like to make them, it's even worse. Like net, it's bad.
It's like these electric cars. What they got to go through to make a battery that does not decompose when you get rid of it.
That's the kicker, right? The battery, like, can't the recycle battery is apparently a real pain in the butt.
If they would go to hydrogen cells, like they use in spacecraft, they're supposedly they're very cheap, they're very safe, but nobody wants to use them. It's like we got to use lithium batteries.
Yeah.
I mean, you got hydrogen cells. Their byproduct is water.
I don't know.
Hello, Deanne. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hello.
I am hanging in there,
Hanging in.
hanging in. Trying not to give my wife too much grief. Not trying real hard, but I am trying. So, there's something.
Mike, are you in the woods?
I'm in my backyard.
Mm.
Which is the woods.
No, I wish. I'll be out there Wednesday in the backyard of my freaking suburban home. This is not my beautiful house. There's a lot of fireflies out tonight. And stars.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, we have enough heat for it.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
God.
muggy. It's hot. I was just
I
saying,
walk-
like, there's record-breaking heat waves in the North Pacific Northwest, like the hottest it's ever been.
That they know of.
Yeah, but that's got to be like 100 years. Yep, it's the end of the world. We're all gonna drown. It's gonna be like water world.
Well, we all got to die sometime.
Nah, even if the sea levels rose, like it would just take away a lot of land along the coastlines. Like Florida would be screwed. New Orleans screwed.
I wonder how New
Jersey-
Jersey would make out.
New Jersey would be underwater. It's too flat.
Okay.
You guys, it's flat there.
I'd have beachfront property, man. My property values would go up.
That'd be awesome. Just luck out. Your house becomes like the next Jersey Shore point.
I remember when the first Superman movie came out, the plot was Lex Luthor was stealing missiles so he could bomb the San Andreas Fault, and California would go into the sea, and he was buying up all what would become beachfront property.
Smart. Sounds like a decent plan.
Yeah, if it had worked. I've had a lot of good plans, and they never worked out the way I thought they would. I told my grandson, never ask a girl to marry you on the first date, because even if she says no, you will eventually end up married to her. So make sure. Come in to laugh at me? Oh, okay.
I think the mosquitoes are leaving me now. I think they're out here. God damn mosquitoes.
Yeah, it's been like 90 and 91 here. I went for
That's hot.
half-mile walk on Thursday. Wasn't too bad. And then I went for almost half a mile on Friday. But I made the mistake of bringing my dog with me, and he is not conducive to going on walks. He wants to play with everything, not play, but like check everybody's yard out. And little bulldog came out and wanted to play with him. And, once he realized the dog was not aggressive, he started acting aggressive. Spent more time keeping them apart than walking. Saturday, I guess going up and down to 3 flights of steps was enough exercise. And Sunday I was going to go to the Blueberry Festival, and it was like 93 degrees out and a huge crowd. And I was like, I can maybe handle the heat or the crowd, but I can't do both of them.
Yeah. Saturday, I went to Ocean City, and it was pretty cool actually. They had like a vintage car show there in Ocean City,
Mhm.
like right near the fire station. And it was free. You just like check out all these old cars, like real nice vintage. I mean, they had even Model Ts there and shit.
Yeah, when I was coming home from Mount Holly, Piccolo Inn had a car show going, but I already called my wife to tell her to get ready to go out to dinner. So I figured if I spent an hour taking pictures of old cars when I told her I was on my way home, she would not be happy.
Yep. I went to actually ran 4 miles on Saturday morning. Across there's like that giant bridge or causeway or whatever that goes from Summers Point. My wife talked to me and she's like, want to go? I'm like, all right, why not? I didn't think I'd be able to run all the way down and back. I was like 4.5 miles and probably walked another 1.5 miles. So I definitely got some miles in, which is good because I got to train up for that shit that I signed up for in October, that ruck march, that 10 miler.
Oh my God, I don't think I can handle 10 miles.
Yeah. 10 miles with weight. You got to have a ruck, 35 pounds, not including water. So I'll probably be walking around like 40 some pounds.
Well,
8 miles and then 2 mile friggin' course with like events.
the one nice thing about my knees is they said they can't really get any worse. I'm already bone on bone. So.
Yeah, my knees could probably definitely get worse. They feel like they get worse all the time. I'm waiting for robot knees. Not those robot knees.
I thought I was going to do that this year, but the orthopedist said, your body has been through enough stress. Next year, we'll talk. Whatever.
Yeah, like Terminator legs. We're gonna kick through walls and shit.
But walking does not seem to, I mean, they hurt afterwards, but not like trying to run.
For me, like actually the slower I go, the worse it is. Like I hate slow walk moping around, like just standing there is the worst. Like I'd rather be moving quick. I feel like it does less damage for some reason.
Me, it's the bending. They don't bend as much when I walk. So. And I guess dropping the weight has probably helped a lot.
Yeah, I've been trimming up a little bit, dieting, probably down to like 210.
God, I can't remember 210.
God, I'm trying to get down to 200. 210 would be wonderful right now.
That's where I want to be.
Feels good to get lighter.
I got weighed this morning. I was 277, down another pound. Well, listen, living on chicken soup for 2 days, I should probably drop at least 4 pounds.
Dude, I was eating, my diet was consistent of like eggs, cabbage, and tuna fish. Like when you just cut the carbs out, you'd be amazed at how much weight you lose so quick when you don't eat any carbs. So I was eating nothing but like protein and like salad, celery, like basically water vegetables. And yeah, when you're not, it's amazing when you don't eat just like chips and sugar and cookies. It's tough though. But once you get over that like initial hump of wanting that sugar all the time, those carbs, it gets easy.
Well, I've been, for me, pretty good. I'll go through 3 days sometimes without eating any bread at all. Most of the time now when I do, I eat that 647 bread, the low carb bread. Now they got a 0-carb bread, works out to about $1.50 a slice. Like, no. And it probably tastes awful.
Yeah. I've been like, I don't even do that strict anymore just because like I started working out more and like you don't have enough carbs and you're not going to get good workouts. So at this point, now I just like watch how much of it I eat, and try to make sure I don't eat too many calories. But like, yeah, I was working out and on like a ridiculous diet and I was feeling like crap because not only was I in like a calorie deficit, but I was working out, burning calories. So I was just feeling like I wasn't getting good workouts. I was like, why the hell am I doing this? I was like, put myself in my own little Nazi concentration camp.
I should be okay just eating chicken stock for 2 days. I don't think that'll hurt me. I just have to watch how much insulin I'm using.
When's the longest, you know how the longest you've ever gone without like any meal, without any food? How many hours or days?
About 3 days in March.
You went without food back in March for 3 days?
Sometime in February, March, I just like totally lost my appetite.
Oh,
and
was it
I was
COVID?
barely eating it. No, I don't think I even had COVID in February. I think it started in February. My appetite just nothing looked good. You know, it's like I had to force myself to eat because nothing looked good. There was nothing I wanted. And I think I went for about 3 days before my wife said, "You have to eat something." And it's like I'm not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
That went on for probably close to a month where I just did not want anything. And the end of the month, I got tested for COVID and came up positive. But like the whole time I wasn't eating, like I monitor my vitals every morning. I have a chart I fill out to bring to the doctor every 3 months. And it was my blood ox that made me go get checked because it dropped it into the 80s. And I was always consistently in the 90s, usually the mid to high 90s. And now all of a sudden I'm hitting 80. Like that's something not right.
Yeah, I don't think I've gone like more than a day without food. Like I was thinking to myself, because like I get hungry. Like if I don't have food, if I miss a meal, I start to get hungry. But I just started thinking like what it must be like if like you didn't have food for days.
I watch my glucose
That
meter,
would be fucking
and
mess.
unless I'm hitting 100, if I don't feel hungry, I just won't eat anymore.
Yeah, I've never had to go like more than a day without food.
I'm one of those guys. It's like, you have breakfast, you have lunch, you have dinner, you have snack. And if I wake up at 11 o'clock and have breakfast at 12 o'clock, it's time for lunch and I'm going to eat even if I'm not hungry.
Yeah, I skip breakfast for the most part. If like if breakfast is there, I'll eat it. But I'm fine without breakfast. And usually I just eat the lunch and the dinner. That's it. Two big meals, one big lunch, one big dinner.
Well, like I said, I
Whatever
watch my
find
meter.
between.
I watch my meter, and unless I'm below 100, I don't worry about eating. When I start like dropping, 80, 70, like, yeah, I got to get something now.
Your glucose level.
Yep.
But yeah, now I just try to like, when I do eat, I don't eat like everything. Like I try to be cognizant of not like eating everything.
I eat everything, but that's only because my wife doesn't put a lot out there anymore. We had trout the other day, Sunday night, because we were trying to figure out we were going to go get out and get something to eat, and every place I suggested, it was like no, 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 no. And she goes, "Well, what do you want?" I said, "I could do some seafood," and every place I suggested does seafood, she said no. And so finally we ended up at ShopRite, and she wanted freshwater fish. And the trout fillets were $10 a pound. So she said, get 2 of them. And so I got 2, and I said, you know what? Give me 3. And she looked at me. She says, we don't need 3. I said, I got 3 anyway. So she fried them up real nice. And we had an ear of corn each and some broccoli. And I ate my 1 trout fillet. And it was like she didn't even put the 3rd one on the table. And I started to get up and go for it. And she said, you don't need it. I said, yes, dear. And I sat back down.
Yeah. I would have snuck it later on.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about it later on. I wasn't really hungry then.
Wait, I gotta
too.
drop off. My wife and daughter just got back. So I'm gonna go help them out with their stuff, and I will catch you guys on Wednesday.
Sounds good. Look
All right,
forward to it.
later on.
Later, Mike.
So what do you do now that school's out?
Burnout. I almost started drinking today at 8:00. No, I am home with my children, praying that I survive.
Summer.
So that's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
We're home with the kids. My wife goes, I wish they would buy a house and move out.
I mean, for the most part, they're okay. It's just Brianna. She just gets into that groove of instigating her brother, and it's just sent her to timeout
Oh,
twice today.
Yeah, you have little ones.
Yeah. So
Yeah, my daughter came over because she had a paper she had to work on for school. And she brought Isaiah with her. And he's at that magical age where you know everything.
yeah.
And he just makes her climb the wall because whatever you want him to do, he's got to argue.
Oh yeah, sounds about right. I have to sit down with her tonight and tell her, listen, when mom says you need to do something, you don't come back at me and say no. Because that's what she did tonight. She turned around.
I just want to get a water pistol and squirt him in the face when he says no.
Like I got the freaking wooden spoon when I was a kid. This one, I said, go to your room. And she turns around and she goes, no. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, you don't tell me no. I'm like, I'm the mother. I tell you what to do, not the other way around. So, needless to say, I lost my shit.
You tell her, for somebody that knows everything, how come you don't know that?
Yeah.
My daughter did her, I think it was her second funeral on Sunday. And it was a little bit of a tough one for her because the guy, it was his mom, and there's just a lot of family issues and problems. And and they did everything. They wanted to do everything real fast.
Yeah.
And it was like they she's like, they wanted prayer cards, but they didn't give me time to order prayer cards from anywhere. So I laid them out and designed them, but she didn't like the way they were coming out of my printer. So I think she ended up printing them up herself at home,
Mm,
because apparently all the printers around here are closed on the weekend now.
interesting.
Yeah, it's like, they used to be open all weekend because I guess people with businesses, Saturday is a good day for them to go to the print place and get stuff done.
Yeah.
And during lockdown, I guess they were getting it all done during the week, and they were staying home on the weekends because nobody was coming in. I told Isaiah, I said, you know why a lot of the workers in the stores are still wearing masks? And he goes, why? I said, because they replaced them with androids when everything was locked down tight, and androids can't smile right. So they have to wear masks so you can't see that they smile from. And he looks at me and he goes, really? You believe that? He says, everybody knows it's the eyes that aren't right.
Oh my God. What a funny kid.
Yep, you are my grandson for sure.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
He's already started when we go to Ranger Station. He goes, Luna's going to be there. And I asked her if we could go out and get ramen. Now he's 14, Luna's in her 20s.
Mm,
And she said a bunch of them are gone, so she's going to check and make sure that we could go too. I said, okay. I said, I'll go for ramen.
nice.
But we're doing the photo shoot on Friday night. And I'm hoping my wife goes. I don't know if she will or not. About 50-50 right now. We'll see. If I get her to go, the tough part is going to be to get her to dress up as a Power Ranger. Because if I could do that, my life will be complete.
Hey, you never know.
If we could find a steampunk thing, she would dress up like that. She loves those costumes. Telling me today, her cousin is in Texas for training, and she has her daughter with her. And so everybody's been going down to help take care of the baby like a month at a time. And Dad was there for training too. And when he came home, he brought the baby with him. Victoria, baby, she's like 3 years old. And my wife goes, oh, I guess we're not going to Texas. And they said, no, she's going back. And so she says, so we still might go in September for a month. And her cousin said, yeah. And I said, boy, I'd love to go to Texas for a month. I said, I'm sure whatever base you're at, there's somebody from Refit around there I could go hang with. And she looks at me and she goes, I didn't hear anybody invite you. I'm like, what? She said, yeah, by September, you should be good to be on your own for a month. I said, well, if you go to Texas, then I'm going to Alaska and visit Cedric.
Aw.
I'm not staying home alone for a month. There are pictures out
time.
there waiting to be taken. Yeah, I was surprised. She let me go to a workshop Saturday.
That's good though.
Oh yeah, I came home with 239 pictures of a gorgeous blonde. But she was like, yeah, go, have fun, knock yourself out.
She knows you're not going anywhere.
I got there and I have never been to this guy's studio before. The only thing I really know is he's ex-Air Force. And I have a couple of friends that have done shoots there. And I get there, and it is a big, tall commercial building with like 12-foot ceilings on each floor. And it is a third floor walk up. He's on the top floor. And I like just looked up the steps, and I was like, oh my God, no elevator. And I drug my 25-pound camera bag up 3 flights of steps and down 3 flights of steps. And it was an interesting workshop. I mean, you go in, and the photographers there draw numbers to see what order they're going to shoot the model in. And so I was number 3, so I got to see a couple other guys, what they were doing. And they give you 10 minutes. And after everybody went through and had their 10 minutes, she went and got changed and came out. And then we did another 10-minute session each. And then the last session, she comes out in some very skimpy lingerie. And I'm like, how am I going to explain this? And,
You're like,
So I
dear
said-
God, get me through this.
and well, she wasn't naked. I mean, so, there's that. And I said, when I went last that time around, and I said, do you have a nice robe to go with that? And she looked at me. I said, yeah, I know, you're absolutely gorgeous, but my wife would not be happy. And she like looked at me and she goes, you're sweet. She says, yes, I will go put a robe on. So she went
Oh,
and she got this nice robe. And then she climbed back on the bed, and I said, no, I don't want to do anything on the bed. I want to do everything by the window with the window light. And she like looked up and she goes, I love window light. I said, good. Because that's where we're spending our 10 minutes, is by the window. And I think those are actually the best pictures I got. So she was going through them with me. And 239 pictures, that's like way too many. I tried doing automatic retouching, and I wasn't happy with it. So I'm going to have to go through and decide which ones I really, really like that are worth spending an hour fixing for my what I want to do.
do you use a Mac or a PC?
I have a Mac.
You do?
Yeah.
What programs do you use?
I have Photoshop.
Okay.
Actually, I have the whole Adobe suite because you can't buy it anymore. You have to rent it.
Yeah.
And if you need more than 3 of the programs, it's cheaper to rent up the entire suite than to rent 3 individual programs.
Gotcha.
But if all you want is Photoshop, you can get that for about $10 or $12 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, and really, you can still buy Photoshop Elements, which for most people, they won't even use everything Elements does. So you could buy that for about $100 at an outlet store. But I've been doing it I switched to a Mac because of my son. When he graduated, I was a Windows registered partner. So I didn't buy Windows software. I got everything free from Uncle Bill. And I always used to say, if you could do it on a Mac, I could do it on a PC for half the price. And when he went to college, he had to have a Mac because that's what the cool kid had. So he uses some of his student loan money to buy a MacBook. And the first time he comes back home to visit, he's selling it on eBay because he has to have the aluminum MacBook.
Oh.
Because that's the one the cool kids were using, not the white plastic one. So he sells that one. He gets the aluminum one. The next time he comes home, which was around Christmas, he's putting that one for sale on eBay. I said, what are you doing? You just got that. He goes, half the software I need to run for my classes won't run on a Mac. They only have PC versions.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that was what I said. I said, you know what? I said, I was having trouble with my Dell, so I went out and bought an HP. I said, so I got a brand new HP. You take the HP, I'm taking the Mac. Because you're just not selling it again. I mean, you got lucky the last time and you got what you paid for it. But
Hmm.
so he took the HP and I got the Mac. And they tell you Macs don't have a learning curve.
Yeah.
They lied. Now, I referred to it as the stupid Mac for probably about 3 weeks, but that was nicer than what I was calling the Dell. And once I start, and then he has Adobe Creative Suite on, which is like a $5,000 program. And I said, where did you get Creative Suite? He goes, oh, that's the trial version. I said, I've been using it for 4 months now. And you had it before that. The trial lasts for 30 days. And he gets this look on his face. He says, well, I might have disabled that part of the software that tells it the trial's over. I said, oh, you might have? He goes, well, yeah, I did. I said, well, when the FBI shows up, because I got $5,000 worth of illegal software, I says, I'm sending them to your room. But I liked it so much, I ended up, buying Photoshop. And it runs so much nicer on a Mac than it does my PC.
Yeah, I had it for a while. Back when I was in college. I mean, I went to school for graphic design and animation originally, and I did everything on a PC. And then once I graduated, that's when I switched over to a Mac, and I fell in love with it. Like, it was just so much easier to use. It was quicker, but
More money.
yeah, definitely more
But
money.
I have a 15-year-old MacBook that I could still use if I get in a pinch.
Yeah. My
And,
old computer from when I graduated I still have it.
and I have come to the conclusion that it is because of the hardware, not the software.
Yeah.
Because you get a Windows PC and you have so many choices. What kind of video card do you want? What kind of hard drive controller? What and then they got to make everything work together, and not
Yeah.
everything wants to work together nice. A lot of the computer hardware does not work and play well with others.
Yeah.
The way the software loads, if you install it in the wrong order, it will crash other programs.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get a Mac, you go into the store and you tell them what you're looking to do, and they go, "You want this one? Or you want this one?" That's your choices. It's all put together at the factory level so that everything works seamlessly. And it doesn't matter what order you put your software on, because every software is in its own little, kingdom, so to
Yeah.
speak. It's not sharing parts of other software to run, so that it's just so much less aggravation. Now they're starting to come out with Mac viruses and stuff. So before, you didn't really have to worry about it. I mean, I've had a virus protection on mine from when I got it because I'm paranoid.
Mm.
Just because you think they're out to get you doesn't mean you're nuts. Maybe they really are.
Yeah.
So I've always had virus protection on my computers, and but now there's one of his friends downloaded a Mac Mac virus, and he's like, they tell you, everybody knows that piece of software that you downloaded for free is bad news. Why would you download it? Well, I thought it was a Mac. You can't get a virus.
Mm.
Surprise.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, but I'm on I've gone through 2 other MacBooks, and I'm on my second Mac Mini.
Nice.
And the next one I get, I want the M1 chip. It
Okay.
just came out, and I wanna give it a while. And plus, I'm looking at spending $2,000 on a computer again,
Mm,
and I don't want to just drop that kind of money and then not be happy with it.
yeah.
But I want the iMac style with the 27-inch display, but I want to make sure that chip they got all the bugs out. It has a program on it called Rosetta that will let it run Windows software without having to install Windows.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's liable to be lawsuits about that. But the M1 chip was designed by Apple, and it's built by Apple. It's not built overseas. And they are starting to use it in everything.
Yeah.
iPads, it'll probably be in the phones before too much longer. So everything is going to be running on the same chip, which should make everything working together that much nicer.
That's cool.
I think it's going to be a slow night.
Yeah, I can't believe how quiet it is in here tonight.
Maybe that means everybody had a good weekend and they're still hungover.
And they feel bad. I gotta go.
I was getting
Yeah.
ready to ask, where was everybody at?
What
I
are
don't
you
know, I
doing
gotta-
over there?
I'm going to have to reach out to Jeremy because he's on every night without fail.
Yeah, what's up with him? Yeah, he's always on.
He does have issues. I'm just-
Hi, Deanne.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
I'm working my part-time job tonight.
Yeah.
It's actually back down to part-time because I got other guys to cover at least 3 or 4 nights for me. Finally,
Good. Work too much.
they were taking advantage of me. I was working at 7 nights a week. I was like, no, we can't keep doing this, guys. I want 3 nights. That's all I wanted.
I was gonna say you work too much.
In my main job, I work 45 to 50 hours a week at my main job.
Yeah.
And it's a peaceful night here right now. I kind of hope it stays like this all night.
It better. It's a Monday night.
You'd be surprised. I got a guy that keeps buying everybody drinks at the bar. He's trying to get everybody drunk. His plane got delayed until tomorrow morning, so he decided to come up here, and anybody sitting at the bar, he just keeps buying them drinks.
Nice.
And he's lucky I can't drink because of my medication, or I would take one. I had a beer not that long ago. I haven't had a beer in a while, and I had one, and it did the same thing it did before. It messed with my blood sugar really bad.
Really?
And it doesn't raise it up. It makes it drop.
Oh, wow.
And last time I dropped, it dropped down into the 50s. And I don't like that feeling.
Mm-mm.
No,
Not a good
No.
feeling.
that's like, yeah, we're not driving. You got to be careful walking.
No, there was one time, and I'm glad my body woke me up because I was borderline coma state.
That's
I
scary.
I woke up, I was sound asleep, and I had to get something in me because I was like, man, something's not right. I checked my blood sugar. It was like at 49,
Wow.
and I could barely walk to the kitchen to get anything in me. So now I keep a whole bunch of those glucose tablets right there next to my bed. I'm like, you know what? I will down the whole tube just to get my blood sugar back up. Because I cannot, I do not like that feeling. It scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Well, you ought to get him to look into a Dexcom for you, because that has the alarms. So once you start dropping, it'll ring. Like mine vibrates on my watch that my blood sugar's dropping, and it starts at 85. I set it to start at 85 because 85 you're still really good, and then I can plan
Yeah.
accordingly. But when it gets below 70, it's like the red alert signal going off.
Yeah, my body don't like 70s. Usually 80s and 90s. There's my lunchtime and dinner time numbers, and my breakfast for some reason is always about 120 or 130. My fasting number always, for some reason, is higher.
As your body starts releasing sugar to try and keep it stable.
It's releasing too much.
Now I'm at 211 right now. And I was down to 58 before dinner, but we went to Texas Roadhouse and I ate 3 of those rolls with the butter and cinnamon butter.
Oh, you can't pass those up. I love those rolls. It's very bad for me to go to Texas Roadhouse because I probably eat the whole thing of rolls. I haven't been in a while. Now you want me to go?
Well,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
that's my last decent meal for till after Thursday. So
All right, guys,
Oh,
my
I'm
jumping
doctor. My doctor's gonna be disappointed with my.
good night.
You too, guys. I'll see
Oh.
you Wednesday.
You heading out?
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Have a good one.
I think my doctor will be happy with my blood sugar numbers, but he's not going to be happy with my weight. Instead of
Well,
going down, it went up.
I go up and down like 4 pounds.
No, I at one
I've
point I
been
was down
hoovering
to like
around.
one time I was around like 270, but that was after being sick and all that, and it shot back up to 300.
Well, I've been hoovering around 278 now. I go from like 278 to 280 and back to 278. Today I went down to 277.
I'd be happy with 250 right now.
I'm working on it 10 pounds at a time. I want to get to 270. But I gotta go on liquids for 3 days. So I'm basically going to be eating chicken soup and chicken stock and saltines. So that might get me down to around 270. I'm hoping. You good, Clark?
Yeah, I was sending a message to somebody real quick.
Oh, okay. I was going to say because your video dropped out.
Well, actually, surprised the Sarah didn't even pop on tonight.
I don't know. I guess we get them every once in a while. Well, I think I'm going to make an early night of it too then.
Well, I'm going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs at a bar.
You want me to
No,
make you host in case somebody shows up?
The what?
I made you a host if you want to stay on and see if anybody else shows up.
That'd be the first for me to be the host.
Hey, why not? It's not rocket science.
Yeah, but I just don't know how to accept people in. I've never done it before.
It'll come up on your thing and ask you if you want to admit them or not.
Ah, okay. Well, I'll let it go for a little bit.
All right, I will catch up with you on Wednesday.
I'll be there.
Have a good one. Stay safe.
You too. You too. Stay on for a few more minutes in case somebody wants to pop on. If not, we'll make it an early night. I'm the host, but no one's popping on. Ha 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 ha! You're a funny guy. Well, I guess I'll call it. Hope everybody has a good night.